Don't do anything stupid.
I'd like to welcome everyone to the Maysboro Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This time we'll have personal appeals part one. If anyone has a personal appeal, please do your appeal now. State your name and your address and what your appeal is.
Thank you. I'm Ann Zay. It's 144 East Spruce Street. I'm here. I have two things. So two separate things. I have to put one hat on and then I'm going to change and put another one on. So I'm here first for East Penn Neighbors Helping Neighbors. And I want to thank Borough Council for supporting this organization. You are really an integral part of our ability to address home insecurity in East Penn School District. And I just want to thank you from the board for your continued support. As you know, we are having our fundraiser on Saturday. If you'd like to come, that would be great. But I really am here to thank you for your continued support of our organization. I guess I should just say currently there are approximately 50 families who are experiencing home insecurity in our district. Just to put that in your, in your awareness.
And is that East Penn District or you mean?
That's only who we serve. Our mission is for East Penn School District.
Okay.
Only. But yes, probably about 50 families. And that may mean that they're moving from house to house. That might mean that they're in a motel. We've had some families live in a motel for up to 2 years with children, like 3 children and 2 parents in one motel room. I don't know how they do that. Might be in their car. You may have seen some of those families. They are a little bit more obvious, or they're running from rent to rent to rent. So they're the children, and it's about children. Please understand that our mission is about the children, so that they can have a good, good year in school. They can settle down, and when someone says, "What's your address?" that they can answer that question. Not have to shrug their shoulders.
Question?
Yes.
I want to get a couple of tickets for Saturday. How do I?
You can come to, if you want to, if you want to tell me that you're coming, I will hold them at the door for you.
I'll give you the number.
Okay, that's fine. How many do you want?
2
tickets?
kids myself.
Okay, that's fine. It's 5 or 7, 5 o'clock.
I think we were doing 5.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you so
We
much.
did the last.
Great, yeah. It's at a different location.
Yes. Shane informed us of it. I just forgot to.
Okay.
Yeah, don't go to the wrong spot.
Wrong spot. We won't. Okay, so thank you again. So that's my first thing. My second thing is I'm also president of the Mass Library Board, and so I'm here also speaking from the Mass Library Board. I also want to thank you for supporting the library. Thanks to those of you who came down and took a look at our renovations. If you haven't been down, please go see them. There's a new desk. We've taken out the stanchions when you come in, that beeped when you walked in the building. We've put more computers in. The children's wing has had a little bit of refresh. So, if you're, if you don't want to come formally, just sneak in the front door and just go take a look around. You don't have to announce your presence. You're very welcome there. I did want you to know that on Saturday, even though the winter event was canceled by the borough, and that's certainly understandable.
Postponed.
Pardon?
Postponed.
Postponed, then that's fine. There were 6 events that happened at the library on Saturday. And the library was packed doing those events that were, some of them were to be done with the event, and some were as a substitute for the event being canceled. So there was a warm place, a community place, the library was packed, and I just want you to know that. We look forward to the postponement, the march party, and they'll be back at the library again. So I just wanted you to be aware that the library is this place where people go and find opportunities to not only build community, but to find things that they need at the library. Also, we are having our fundraiser at the library, so I want to make you aware of that. We are having our 3rd annual mini golf in the library. It's March 24th and 25th. March 24th is adults only with adult beverages, and on the 25th is a family-oriented event. If you haven't been to that, it's really a lot of fun. It's actually 18 holes of a mini golf course inside the library. It's hard to imagine. We are having youth from our school district and also 7th Gen to design the holes. So we are involving students in the design of the whole decorations. And we hope to see you there. We know that it will be a fun time and a good fundraiser for the library. So if you have any questions about either organization, I'm happy to answer them. People ask me what, how's retirement going? I just tell them I'm busy.
Well, thank you for your commitment to those two organizations because they're very important.
Thank you. Thank you again, Brett. Thanks, Tom.
Thanks. Welcome. Do we have anyone online? All right, so if anyone online has a public appeal, just speak up by stating your name and what your address and your appeal is. If you have an appeal, now would be the time. All right, moving on to community minute. Does anyone have a community minute to bring forward?
Just a public announcement that I know it's been all over, but Snow Blast Winter Arts Festival was postponed until March 4th. I want to thank Shane for working so closely with the Emmaus Arts Commission. They did not come to that decision lightly. The extreme temps that were expected. So just to be sure that everybody knows that it's the same lineup of activities on March 4th at the same time.
So they had almost 50% of the vendors backed out for Saturday, so.
Yeah, it makes it tough.
Yeah, and
Although the ice sculptures wouldn't have melted.
and ironically, Sunday turns around and it was almost 50 degrees, but.
Yeah.
They feel, and I mutually felt with them that, you don't have an event just to have it, you want it to be successful.
Right.
So delaying it for 30 days, we feel would bring more success to the.
So just as many of you know, there's a little football game on Sunday, and a local Emmaus High School graduate is playing in the game, starting for the Philadelphia Eagles. So congratulations to him.
Kazir White
Yes, sir, Kazir White, and
has two brothers in the NFL too, from our high school.
Go Eagles on Sunday. Figure that out.
Go Eagles. Anybody else? All right, we have no special presentations. We have the January 16th meeting minutes to approve. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the meeting minutes? Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any corrections or additions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. On decisions on bids, we have some sales of retired vehicles that are no longer in use. I'll need a motion to approve selling the 1991 Chevrolet dump truck for a high bid of $4,000, a 1998 International dump truck for a high bid of $11,000, a 2002 Chevrolet Impala for a high bid of $1,400, and a 2010 Ford Explorer for a high bid of $3,300. Can I get that in a motion from somebody? Councilman Dufresne, Councilman Anders for a second. Any discussion on this? Is that what we were expecting or anything?
So I mean, the Impala I would have taken scrap metal for. The 1998 dump truck definitely sold for more than I had anticipated. We were thinking probably 5,000. And there were 2 people that just kept going at it with each other. So yeah, I was happy with the bids. As you know, this was a municipal bid process, so it's the online auction. And it's hit or miss. Sometimes you land a lot lower than what you would hope. Sometimes you land a lot higher. In this particular instance, I think we did very well. So
great. Any other comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. Under communications, we got a resignation from the Recreation and Entertainment Commission from Allison Spagnoletti. She had a work change and is no longer able to contribute like she would like to. We had a resignation from the Vacancy Board by John Sober so he can participate
as an active zoning alternate in the zoning board. So we'll need to advertise for a vacancy on the vacancy board. And I don't think that's something we're gonna get, so maybe council members can actively recruit somebody to take that position. We have a withdrawal from a joint advisory of environmental advisory council. Went through the interview process, decided it's not a job that they would fit in well with, so withdrew their application. We have an event request for the Tunes on the Triangle, which normally would be just send it to the staff, except they are selling alcohol. So I will need a motion to approve the sale of alcohol for the Triangle, Tunes on the Triangle events. Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilwoman McManaman. Any discussion on this? So I think they're second year now. All is fair, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes. We have an application for Jennifer Falegi for the Mass Public Library Board, and we have a interview set up for her for general administration on February 16th. We have a resignation from the Arts Commission by Patty Fernandez. And then we have an event request for the Memorial Day Parade for May 29th. That will go to staff. We have 2 resignations from the Ambulance Corps. We have David Dunn and Josh Hand. And then we have a request for the Monkey Knife Fight against Cancer Charity Bike Ride, which is their 6th year already, if you can believe that. And that will go to staff. No Borough Engineers report. Do we have a solicitor now?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I thought it started at 7. I thought that was a one-time thing, and I'm driving on my way, so I will be there shortly. But there is no report. I talked to Shane earlier today. Progress.
All right, thank you. Under unfinished business part 1, we have 2 ordinances for their second reading. Their first readings were both on January 16th. We have ordinance 1237 and ordinance amending chapter 15, subsection 403, subsection 404.1, subsection 406, subsection 407, subsection 602.2.a, and subsection 602.3. The codified ordinances amending several sections of the Borough of Emmaus parking regulations. As you see, there's a lot of sections. It's because we're doing it all at one shot. So we heard the explanation from the chairman of the Safety Committee, and if anyone has any questions, I'll ask for a motion. A motion by Councilman Hart, second. Councilwoman McManaman. Any discussion? Is there a roll call vote? Councilwoman McManaman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner. Aye. Councilman Anders.
Aye.
Councilman Layberg. Aye. Councilman Dufresne.
Aye.
Councilman Hart.
Aye.
Councilman Balliet.
Aye.
There are 7 ayes. Ordinance 1237 passes on second reading. Ordinance 1238 is an ordinance of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending chapter 15, subsection 602.3.a of the Emmaus Borough Code, adding a residential disabled parking sign and assigning permitted parking space on a public street located in front of 106 South 12th Street within the Borough of Emmaus. Like I said, this is the second reading. We had the explanation before. Motion to approve ordinance 1238, Councilman Hart, second by Councilman Dufresne. Any discussion? So roll call vote. Councilwoman McManaman.
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner.
Aye.
Councilman Anders.
Aye.
Councilman Layberg. Aye. Councilman Dufresne.
Aye.
Councilman Hart.
Aye.
Councilman Balliet.
Aye.
There are 7 ayes. Ordinance 1238 is approved on second reading. We have no new business. Unfinished business part 2, we have nothing. Does anybody have anything to bring forward that we do not have on the agenda today? Hearing none, Madam Mayor's report.
I have no report, progress.
All right, moving right along, that takes us to the committee reports. We have Public Works Committee Chairman Anders.
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. We do not have anything for official action. We met on January 18th. We do have some things that in the notes that we discussed, which was in reference to yard waste collection, which we will bring up at the next council meeting. We do have some changes to the compost site hours that we are looking to implement this year. Those hours, Shane, are they 100% now that we can say them, or?
With the Saturday hours?
Just announce it at the next council.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from there, you will see our notes. One note that I did want to mention that was the South Second Street project will be completed a little later this year, as UGI will be doing some work before we can pave the road. Any questions or comments? If not, I will report progress.
Thank you. Health, Sanitation and Codes Committee Chairman Balliet.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tonight, I would like to ask council to consider appointing John Stover to our zoning hearing board with a term expiring January 1st, 2025. And I will put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Balliet, seconded by Councilman Hart. Any discussion?
This is as an alternate for you.
Correct.
Yes, alternate member.
All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
Our next meeting will be January 25th at 4:45. Or no, sorry. February 22nd at 4:45. With that, I'll report progress.
Thank you. Parks and Recreation Committee Chairwoman Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. We have nothing for official action. We had a good meeting on January 17th, discussing a lot of plans for parks and the pool. So it's an exciting time. I'm sure we'll have a lot to report in the coming months. Our next meeting will be February 7th at 4:45 p.m. I report progress.
Thank you. Public Safety Committee Chairman Hart.
Thank you. We already handled the 2 ordinances previously in the agenda. Recall that we had in the packet last month our first draft of an ordinance that has to do with kiosk and parking and charging for parking in certain areas of the borough. Unfortunately, we couldn't meet in January because of some conflicts that we have. So our first bite of the apple on that for the Public Safety Committee will be on Wednesday, and we'll have it back to the Borough Council on the 21st, I guess. There are department year-end reports in the in your packet. I'm not going to speak to those until the committee gets the first look at them and analyzes them. So with that, our next meeting is Wednesday, February 8th at 9 a.m. I'll report progress.
Thank you. General Administration Committee is myself. We have 2 issues that we sent to General Administration that was at our last council meeting. We had discussion, we had some votes, they were there. The first one is the light proposal approved for the towns at South Mountain Land Development. You have a picture of what they look like. There was a recommendation from the committee with a vote of 2-1. I was the one that voted against it. I personally rather have lights shooting down versus out, but it's not a big thing with me. So I just rather have the regular lights that shoot down versus out. But with that being said, is there a motion to approve the lights at South Mountain? Motion by Councilman Dufresne, second by Councilwoman Baumgartner. Any discussion? You heard how I'm going to vote, but all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? No, and that's Councilman Lakeman. All right, moving on to the walking path. They wanted, if you recall, they wanted to do a mulch walking path, and we're not happy about that. So we discussed it, and the committee wants to have a cinder path that a lot more people will be able to use, and it's also going to be open to the public. And there was a recommendation to have that path cinder by a 3-0 vote to recommendation. Oh, was it 2-1? Oh, I'm sorry. And I thought I read in the minutes it said 3, but I apologize. So is there a motion to approve a cinder walking path, or do we have to deny it first?
No.
No. We can just tell them what is required. All right, so somebody like to make a motion to require the cinder path. Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilwoman Baumgartner. Any discussion? Would you like? to
Yeah,
go first?
I agree it should be cinder, but my opinion was our engineer missed it. And the contractor prices things out that way, so I do agree it should be cinder, but because of the fact that we didn't get a chance to look at it, I'm gonna vote no.
Okay, but it was also pointed out that it was in lieu of the $48,000 for the recreation fee, $1,000 for each unit. And they were only spending $13,000 for that path. This cost will still be under that 48,000 if I remember correctly.
It's a lot.
I think it was 40,000 was the estimate.
Loads, yeah.
So, all right, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed?
No.
One opposed, Councilman Dufresne. We have our meeting notes there and with some of the comments that we just discussed now, and our next meeting is February 16th, 9 a.m. I report progress. Budget and Finance Committee, Chairman Dufresne.
Thank you, Mr. President. Shane, we actually have to vote on the donations policy, right?
Yes.
Okay, so in the packet, you can see the new donations policy here. It's just to keep all the departments in the borough consistent with the policy here. So
Like in the form of a motion.
yeah, I'm gonna put in the form of a motion to adopt the new donations policy as you see in the packet.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne, is there a second? Councilwoman McManaman, any discussion? The reason this came out was some donations were being handled differently in different departments, and now we just have it all on the same page for everyone, so. I think it's simplified version, one page, which is nice.
And so all this covers is when the money comes in, what account it goes to. So if somebody earmarks money to be spent on a specific item, it would go to a specific account. If they don't, if it's a general donation, then it goes into the department budget.
I was just gonna ask how this was gonna affect our social clubs when they make donations. Do they have to come here?
No,
Is what they normally do
they
if
can,
do a
they
big
can,
event?
they could do the same thing, but what
Okay.
I would say to them is, for example, the Mercantile Club,
Right.
for example. They have donated for the last couple of years, like $3,000
Right.
for community outreach events,
Right.
right? So what we're saying is, what we want is either something in writing or a memo right on the memo part of the check saying donation for community outreach. If it says donation for police, then it would go into an operating fund. But if
Okay.
it's something specific that they want to donate for,
Okay, 'cause
then
I know that's
we'll put
coming
that
up
into the
next
police
year.
savings fund
Okay.
specifically for like the dinners and the outreach events that we do for the public. The whole idea here is we get checks, donations from various
Right.
people. And so we have money here, we have money there, we have money there, and then some of the money goes into the general fund. Committee was looking at it because Christine Snyder had said, there's a lot of inconsistency as to the way we're doing it.
Right.
We just want to try to streamline it, put it in the right spots, make sure that people that are donating money for a specific cause, the dog, for example, that it's going into an account for the dog.
Okay.
But if it's just, hey, somebody gave us $50 for the police pension the other day or something, it was something ridiculous. That's going into the general fund, but it'll go towards the pension pay.
Alright.
But some people just cut a check for ambulance operations. Well, that goes into their general budget.
All right, any other comments?
I was just wondering if it has a date for when it goes into effect. So is it just immediate effect on approval, or is there?
Yeah, it's immediate.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
Okay, next we have resolution 2023-7. The bill list resolved by Borough Council to authorize payment of the February 6, 2023 bill list as follows. $1,730,585.01. Payroll number 2, $182,653.71. Payroll taxes, $57,310.41, for a total of $1,970,549.13 done in the 6th day of February 2023, and I put that in the form of a motion.
Motion by Councilman Dufresne, is there a second? Councilman Balliet, any questions or on the bill list? All those in favor say aye. Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
Okay, you can see the significant revenue and expenses in there, and then you can also see the meeting notes And our next meeting will be on Thursday, February 16th at 11 a.m. on Zoom, and I report progress.
Thank you. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, Chairwoman McMahon.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting, which was rescheduled in January, is this Wednesday, February 8th at 4:30. Also to note, our regularly scheduled February meeting will still take place on February 27th.
Thank you. Under boards and commissions, you have a set of the library board meeting minutes, or it's their actual yearly report. Personal appeals part 2, there's no one in the room, but is there anyone online who would like to make a personal appeal? If so, now would be the time to do it. Just state your
Can you
name.
hear me?
Yeah, just state your name and what you're, where you live. And what.
So, sorry, I don't know if my notifications were popping up or not. So my name's Alex Elliker. If you'll recall me from last month's meeting for the Farino matter. I know you guys had already voted on it. I'd imagine not changing positions on the cinder block crushed path versus the mulch. I know there was one dissent on that in regards to, it was in the escrow reports before. If you guys had taken your position, if you had any other questions for me, let me know. Otherwise, I'd imagine you're staying put in your decision. The only other question that I'd have, if everyone's staying put, is that give us final authority and finality on this thing, whether we can move forward with what was approved.
So the votes were taken this evening. The lights were approved 6-1 for the lights that you wanted. And on the trail, it was a cinder trail that council voted for with a 6-1 vote also.
And the fence was last council meeting.
Yep.
Correct. Yep. The fence and the escrow payment, I think we resolved that at the last meeting. So if you guys are set on the cinder path, I understand. I guess the only other question then is this give us the okay that we can move forward with all 3 of those things now?
Yeah.
To get this thing done.
Do you want it in writing from me? So that way you have something in writing? I mean, this is an official record with their.
Yeah, I'd imagine it goes in the minutes, but yeah, if Shane, you could get me something in writing just so that my people see it and go, okay, we don't have to wait for the minutes to get approved. We're good to go. Cause I know they're chomping at the bit just to get everything paid and get everything finalized to get this project finished.
Yeah, I'll try to get it out tomorrow to you.
Okay. I really appreciate that. Thank you everyone for your time and consideration on these issues.
Thank you. All right, anyone else with an appeal? I guess he's the only one on there. All right, that leads us to borough manager's report.
All right, I have a couple things. First of all, this morning I posted for the deputy police chief promotion process. So that is posted in their room with your dates, which I think the public safety committee has, but I'll send you over their posting sheet as well. Secondly, you have in your packets some information on pension performance. The pension board will be discussing that at their next pension meeting,
Which is Wednesday. This Wednesday.
And then the last thing that I will ask for a vote on is resolution 2023-6. It's a simple resolution to amend something that you guys already pre-approved, but the Pennsylvania DEP is asking us to put the dollar amount in the revised resolution.
That's the actual amendment.
Yeah.
It's just the amendment. All right, so we have resolution 2023-6, a resolution of council of the Borough of Emmaus, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, amending resolution 2022-43, which approved the application of a Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development for the ARPA Pennsylvania Small Water and Sewer Grant Program. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve that? Councilman Anders, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? There are 7 ayes.
Progress.
All right,
President,
yes.
2 questions for our manager.
I already reported progress.
Could you update the community on the Turkey Hill project?
Maybe.
I don't know that he wants to do that, Mr. Valiant.
Yeah, what I'll tell you is I've been advised that the project is on hold at the moment. not sure that I can really say a whole lot.
I would not recommend that be discussed outside of executive session because of potential litigation.
And then the next thing is have we had any update from Comcast yet?
Yes, CRD committee will be meeting with their representative on Wednesday.
Perfect.
So they sent over a presentation this afternoon. Was that email?
Great.
Yep.
Under president's business, I have no items to bring up and it's been a quiet winter so far and it's good on the heating bill, so I'll take it.
42.
Minus Saturday.
42 days is counting.
Hunting that ground.
Yeah. So there's no executive session this evening. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Councilman Hart, seconded by Councilwoman Manaman. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Meeting adjourned at 6:33.